Hi, and welcome to Transformation Now. I'm Rita Rocker, speaker, author, and trainer with SoaringHigher.rocks, and am very happy to be presenting a program for the next several programs. And it's regarding my book, Creating Your Own Destiny, Power Steps for Mind, Body Renewal. And it does have a workbook with it if you're interested in that. And really, the steps that are in this program can definitely help you transform your life. I know that a lot of people are going through a lot of really tough times, especially the last few years. And there's so much in this program to help you to go forward and to just soar higher and maybe transform your whole life. So I'm going to start where I left off last time, and that's with the actual chapter 1 of the book. And I'll recover a few things, and then we'll go forward. But this chapter is all about emerging from the wilderness. It's time to rise. Because again, we're going to rise, we're going to soar higher. And so what do we think about with the word emerge? Okay, that means newly created, growing in strength or popularity, taking shape, or coming out of a difficult situation, which so many of us are doing nowadays. And so just think about that as you emerge from maybe a tough situation that you're in right now to a whole new life, if that's what is needed. And I know with me, the things I've been going through the last 2 or 3 years especially have been extremely difficult and painful. But again, we get back up, we dust our knees off, and we get back in the race. And so I trust that these will be very helpful for you. So the affirmation that I think is important for all of us to share right now is, I am slamming the door on the past. Self-sabotage does not live here anymore. Regret, shame, and defeat have now left the building. Okay, sorry, you life destroyers, the door is locked and you can never enter my life again. If we really repeat that affirmation every day, we will be able to move forward. And it's surprising when you do positive affirmations and you say, nope, I don't accept that anymore, because it is a matter of accepting or rejecting things. Then we can see our life literally transform by what we will accept and what we'll say, no, you're not coming back here anymore. So we're going to focus on what it takes to truly soar again, to rise higher by implementing laser focus, okay, on life's purpose, your life's purpose. We all have a life purpose. We weren't created for this world just to go to work and do things and go home and nothing. No, we have a life's purpose. God has given each one of us a life purpose. So that means eliminating the things that maybe we need to let go of, and that could be old, unhealed self. I read something recently about, when people leave your life, and maybe it hurts, but maybe they left because you are healing or you are healed now, and they're part of the unhealed past in your life. So think about that as well, so that you can make room for the new things in life, because we can't get new things brought into our lives as long as we're still holding on to things that are taking up that space that we need for the new exciting things in our life. So think about that. And to empower your life. So what is empower? That means you're giving authority to something, or you're making something or yourself stronger. You're empowering whatever it is you're spending your time on, whatever you're thinking about. So you want to think about that and your purpose to accelerate. And we think about shifting. We all probably need areas where we need to shift something in our life. So shift means what? It means changing direction. It means changing the position that we're in, something like that. And so always think about that. When we shift in a car, if you've done that, yes, it's putting it into a higher gear or getting ready to stop. So many times in our life, we need to shift our thoughts, our behaviors, our relationships, whatever the case may be. And so I love that word shift, because I keep thinking about that all the time and how we can transform our life because of it. So first step is understanding your life's purpose. What makes you shine? What makes you happy? What's really meaningful in your soul? And no matter what's happened in your life, you can't get rid of it. It's always going to be in the back of your mind. Okay, that probably has a lot to do with your life's purpose to be able to achieve. So what do we do first? We have to discern or detect what is necessary and what is not necessary. And so we start asking ourselves questions, and I've done that too. Is this relationship with a friend, a partner, a schoolmate, whatever, is this necessary in my life? And you might think, well, no, not really. Or maybe I feel like it's necessary because I'm afraid to lose it because I don't know what I will put in its place. But is this really necessary in my life? Is it necessary to be doing things for somebody all the time who doesn't appreciate it? No, I don't think so. And so what is necessary and what is not necessary anymore in your life? If you really stop to think about that, sit quietly, maybe with a notebook and a pen, away from the cell phone, because I know it always grabs my attention too. And just think about is this really necessary in my life anymore? Or is this an obstacle that I need to get rid of? So we want to make efficient goals for meaningful activities. And so we think about what are some goals that I can do now to help give me more energy. Okay, it might be, I'll take an hour off my TV time at night, and instead I'm going to get on YouTube, or I'm going to get on something where I can look up some programs, something that will make me at least happy, but also something that will train or educate me in an area that I'm really interested in, because you start building up on that, and you actually can get a lot of skills that are free, don't cost anything, don't have to go to school for, as you learn new skills and abilities, and you're encouraged and you're comforted in the things that you are now choosing to watch instead of a lot of the violence and the things that are on TV, to be real honest, right now. So think about that, and think about your energy. I've become more aware of that in the last couple of years. Everything we do gives off an energy. And so think, okay, I walk into a room, what kind of energy am I giving off? Did I have a bad day? Did I have something go wrong? So I come in and I'm angry, not at the people that are in the room, but I'm giving off the energy that I'm angry, that I'm unhappy, that I'm ungrateful. Or am I taking a deep breath, maybe screaming in my car before I go in, and then giving off the kind of energy that's welcoming to other people, that makes them feel good? We can give off energy that shows that we're strong and we're confident, but that we're not arrogant and we're not controlling. So we always give off an energy of some sort. So what kind of energy, be real careful about this, do you see that you're giving off? Because I've had to do some changes in that too, and think, oh, wow, okay, just because this happened over here, I see that I brought that energy into the room, so I'm going to shift. Right now I'm going to shift and concentrate on what's going on, who I'm with. I can be confident, I can be very communicative, I can be very caring, but also very strong. So again, energy is everything. We always give out an energy. Always check yourself. What kind of energy am I giving out to whoever's around me or whatever's going on? And that not only includes business, but that includes home a lot. In the home, and what kind of energy kids are giving off, what kind of energy the parents are giving off, because that will cause other behaviors to take place in other people. So always think about that. Sometimes people can have a great day at work, and then they come home and they bring that into the home, or they had a bad day at work, and so they bring that into the home, and everything was great in the home, and then somebody comes home and it's like, oh my goodness sakes. Now everything is just like, not so happy. And so always think about that energy. That's critically important. And then visualize that. A lot of times we have to visualize, okay, I'm going home now. I had a really rotten day, but what am I going to do? I'm not going to take that out on whoever's home. I'm not going to take that out on the dog, the cat, or anything like that. And so we create scenarios for where we're going, what we're going to be doing. All right, so I always think of the scenarios that you can create ahead of time to maybe solve the situation, or to calm someone else down, or to show that you really care, whatever the case may be. So think about that and visualize that. The most successful sports people, Olympians, pageant winners, everybody that is really successful, they have visualized them doing that. I hear even like Tony Robbins, Dean Graziosi, people like that have been having a lot of programs lately. And they always talk about that, is that visualizing what you are going to do in a positive, strong, powerful method. Okay, so always think about that. And to align with God so he can redeem the lost years, finances, and opportunities. And I'm very serious about that. When we align with God because we're his kids, he can redeem the years that were lost, that were broken, and bring new things into your life. I've seen testimony after testimony of people. There was a lady that is an Asian lady and a beautiful violinist, and in an accident she lost her arm and her shoulder. So she didn't have anything to even put a prosthesis on as far as another arm because she had lost her shoulder as well. But she did not let that stop her. She kept visualizing. She worked really hard. Work. She focused. It's like, no, that is not going to take away my passion, my dream, my talent that I am so good at. And so she ended up having a prosthetic device made. And it was, you know, iron or something like that. It was all metal, but then a leather apparatus that was wrapped around somehow so that she literally, I've seen several videos, hold her violin and she could hurl that bow over, and with the movement of her, what she had left of a shoulder, she played the most beautiful, beautiful violin music. Who would think you could do that with one arm? But she did. How in the world she learned to manipulate that bow so it went over the right strings at the right time, I have no idea. But again, she had to go, that is not going to ruin my life. That is not going to take away the passion that I have in my life for music. And she's extremely gifted in beautiful music. So again, sometimes when we've had a really rough time, you know, soldiers, people that have had legs blown off, arms blown off, people that were born a certain way. Nick Vujicic is another one. He was born with no arms, no legs, one little like flipper on his trunk that would have been a foot. And here he is, you know, and as a little boy, he wanted to die because he, you know, obviously was different than everybody else. He only had half of a body and no arms, but this man is married. I think he now has 3 children. And beautiful wife, beautiful kids, and he is world-renowned, world-traveled for being able to talk to people and help them visualize and create a life of abundance, a life of joyous things as he helps other people. And so he, you know, literally has to be kind of carried in, and I've seen him on like a table at high schools and colleges, and he's powerful. He's so powerful. And yet look what he had to overcome to do that. But he wasn't going to let what happened to him when he was born dictate his future. So, you know, just be encouraged in that. Because a lot of times we think, well, I can't do this. I've been told I was stupid, or, you know, I'd never amount to anything, and so I'm not even going to try. Well, no, think about Nick Vujicic next time. What is your definition of success? And that's not the world's definition of success. That's not a parent or a coach or a teacher or anyone else's definition of success. What is your definition? Because they're all different, because we are all different. And you think, okay, my definition of success is in my career. Maybe I want a non-traditional job. Maybe I'm a woman and I want to work on oil rigs. Maybe I'm a man and I want, like Roosevelt Greer, they called him Rosie Greer, the great big football player. He loved to knit. Okay, so cool. Nobody was going to mess with him and say, hey dude, you can't do that. And so what, do you want a non-traditional job? That's okay. What about sports? I know a lady from the Mrs. Nebraska pageant, and she has several kids. She went through a lot to become an attorney to help people going through bad situations. And her daughter in high school is a beautiful, very feminine girl. And she's on the boys' wrestling team, and she quite often beats them. And so that was her definition, one of them, of success, is to be successful and go forward in what she loved to do and still loves to do. And so think about that. You don't have to follow somebody else's definition of what they think is success. What is it to you? It could be a title that you want. It could be an executive title. It could be some other kind of title. you know, call yourself a life transformer, whatever the case may be. So how do you become successful in that area? Maybe your bank account, to you, that's what you consider success, excuse me, is when you see a large bank account. Okay, so there are steps for that as well. Or a partner, family is also very important. And so what is it about being a partner or a family member that would show that you are very successful? So think about that. You know, there's a man from Senegal, Africa, and I tried remembering his name so I could look it up, and I don't remember his name offhand. But there's a story going around about him right now. He was in the Olympics, and I can't remember even which sport it was, but it was very recent. And people saw, he makes $10 million a year, okay, with the sport that he's in. And so people said, hey, why are you carrying around an old cracked cell phone? You get $10 million a year. What else? Why don't you get a new cell phone? And he said, I grew up so poor. I wasn't able to go to school when I was younger. I was starving half the time. I was working as a young child. And he said, I had nothing, no decent home, not enough food, anything. And he said, I'm so grateful now that I've been able to overcome that. And I don't need a new cell phone. I'm using all of this money that I'm making to help other people that are in the same situation I used to be in. And so he's using all of his wealth, not for a new cell phone and fancy things, but to feed hungry people, to provide housing for them, to provide the needs that they have. And bless his heart, I just love that story because to him that is success. Not that he's making $10 million as a popular Olympian, but that he is helping the lives of so many other people. And so there again, that is true success, but it's what he calls it, not a big bank account, but what he can do for other people. So think about what it is that causes you to be or feel successful, okay? So all those things are always so important. And what areas of your life do you need to hit the push and reset button on? Sometimes it's like, oh, I'm afraid to step out, so I guess I'll just stay in what's familiar. And many people will do that their entire lives, but maybe they're in a wilderness situation because of that. So new life adventures, and I mentioned last time, go on to meetup.com. If you're alone, or maybe you need to network with some people, meet some new people in a certain area that you're interested in, whether it's a sport, whether it's a book club, whether it's just getting together as singles, whether it's any kind of career or hobby or interest. If you go to meetup.com and type in what you're interested in, you will find groups in just about any topic you want. And what that does is as you join those and attend the meetings that they post, it's going to be amazing how you can start hanging out with the kind of people that you want to be with, who are doing the kinds of things that you want to do. And it will build you up, it'll build your skills up, it'll give you new friends. You know, my life switched around a lot lately again, and I was praying for new friends, okay? And God really is bringing new, good friends into my life because I asked Him for it and I kept focusing on it. So you can pray and you can ask Him for new friends, a new life, to direct you to the kind of classes or programs or people that you need to be around, because He can connect you to a person. And if it's not that person, maybe they are the one that's to be used to connect you to another person that can open up a whole new door for you, a new life for you. So I would highly suggest meetup.com just to give you some new people, places, and things that resonate with you and your meaning of success. New relationships, new health, okay? And again, that has a lot to do with diet and getting enough exercise and all those things that sometimes aren't fun, I'll agree, and finances, so, and your career. You know, a lot of people really have had the ability to switch careers entirely because they said, no, I'm not going to do this job that I hate the rest of my life. I'm going to now start learning. I'm going to hang around with the right people and make the right connections. I'm going to show them that I'm good at fixing cars, or I'm a great baker, or I'm a great chef, or I'm a great mediator of children's fights, whatever the case may be. And so think about that and leaving that familiar nest. And sometimes that's packing up and moving out. I mean, we don't know. It might be getting a different kind of job that resonates more with who we are. But you have to stop and think about all of those issues and then write down the things that you don't want anymore and the things that you really want and desire in your life. And so that is pushing a reset button, just like we have to do on our phones and on our computers. So always want to think about that, clearing whatever obstacles, anything that's uncomfortable. Like I mentioned before, eagles take a lot of time to build the nest, and they have all this hard pokey sticks in there, but then the mom puts feathers and things in there to soften it for her little baby eaglets. But once it's time for that kid to fly, and mom's going, okay, out of the nest, you've grown up now enough that you need to get out on your own and fly. And if they go, nah, I don't want to, then the mama eagle starts pulling out all the soft stuff, all the cushy things, until it's like, ow, ow, this hurts, I don't want this anymore. And then, helps kind of boot the little eaglet out. But then she comes underneath and she swoops it back up while it's learning to fly. And then one day it just takes off. And so life is kind of like that with us too. Getting out of something that may be comfortable, now it's not so comfortable, and I'm afraid to take wings, but you can do it because God is the one who actually, like the mama eaglet, he's going to help keep you back up and keep you going again. I know that over and over in my entire life. And so, creating new recipes in your life. Even my sister, who's been a great cook and baker all her life, I noticed when she was visiting that she would even take cookies. She would make 2 test cookies. I thought, what are you doing? Aren't you just going to put your dough on there? And no, I always do 2 test cookies. Maybe I want to add a little more sugar. Maybe I need a little more flour, whatever. Like, okay, whatever. And so think of it. I mean, if you can test cookies before you bake the batch, that's what we do a lot in life. We have to test things. Okay, I shifted over a little bit, but this isn't quite right. So I need to drop this and I need to pick this other thing up and go. So again, it's creating new recipes for your life, actually, is what it is. And we can all do that with some focus and some concern. So think about that, different obstacles in your life and pushing the reset button. And so again, we not only need to earn a living here on earth, but we need to create a life. And sometimes when people have born with a life that's not very good, not ideal, they do create a new life. And I've seen story after story of people who were down and out. They grew up that way. And I'm following a young man right now who had the most horrible life, got kicked out as a teenager, became a father at 17. He was rejected and abused and abandoned and everything else. And he is one young powerhouse. I think he's 30 now. And constantly ministering to people, helping them grow, getting out there in the community. And he didn't say, oh, gee, I can't do anything. Like Tony Graziosi and Tony Robbins and Dean Graziosi, they both have terrible testimonies of their pasts, especially Tony's. And it's amazing. It's like, no, I'm not going to let this hold me down. And now he's feeding millions of people, bazillions of dollars. But he didn't let what happened to him as a young man growing up, even sleeping Christmas night on a hill all by himself. His mom had a knife. And, it was just a whole lot of things going on there. He didn't let that stop him. And so it's really important that we start following people like that and looking to see what they're doing. And they didn't let those things kick them down. They got back up and they got back in the race. So think about that you are the one who designs your life by visualizing in pictures. I've talked to so many people that do make the vision boards. I've done a little bit of that. But some of the most wealthy, popular people that are life transformers have been doing that. They make the vision boards and they focus and they focus and they focus. I know one lady personally. I know of another lady who they did a little bit of fasting and prayer, but they totally visualized the new vehicle that they wanted and needed. And within a week, they both had that vehicle. And so I don't say, oh, let's get into some booga booga strange things, but again, because they focused on it and they wouldn't let it go, and it drew it to them. So dream boards, if that works for you, a lot of people say it does. A lot of the most, like I said, wealthy, popular people who are making dramatic impact on other people's lives, that's how they did it. John Assaraf is another one who did that, and it's absolutely amazing what they have created because of it. And so think about what you will not accept anymore, and that means thoughts as well. Flip the thoughts, okay? That's really important too. A lot of times negative thoughts will come into my mind, and very defeating thoughts, and I have gotten to the point now where I go, no, I don't receive that. And I flip the thought and think of the exact opposite. And so I'd really encourage you to do that, because it will start changing your mind till you don't even want to think about those things anymore. They're gone, they're over. And so that will really help move you forward. So what you desire is good, and not think about, oh, well, where I am right now is I'm living in a crummy place and I have an old beat up car. No, I don't want you to think about that. I want you to visualize where you're going, what you're going to receive. Because if we keep thinking about where we are and it's not a good place, that's where we will stay. And no more, no more. It's time to move on. And so just in ending this program, like 5 areas that maybe you want to change or acquire in your life. Well, a lot of times the first thing we want to change or acquire is a new attitude towards ourselves. A new attitude towards ourselves. That is critical. And it's so important. And that's something that I've had to work out a lot in my life too. Gratitude attitude. Once, I found out too, once I start saying, oh, I'm very grateful, I can see, I can hear, I can walk, I can talk, I have food in my, I go to bed in a real bed, I'm not sleeping on the ground. And I was in Haiti, I understand what real poverty and pain is. And so you think about those things and just start to be grateful for everything that you have. And that really can transform your attitude and your mind. How maybe, okay, I'm going to switch 1 hour of TV for an hour of education every night and watch how your life changes. Or say no to junk food. I'm going to walk and exercise while I watch TV. If I am watching TV and it's too cold out, I'm going to transform my self-esteem, whatever the case may be. So again, it's all about the thought. It's all about the mind. So I thank you very much, and we'll be back with the next part of the program on creating your own destiny, Power Steps for Mind Body Renewal. Thank you.